My house too, in Federal Way, we did see a sliver of sunlight just as the sun was going down. So it was nice to see that. And hey, get used to the sunshine. We are going to be seeing a lot of it this upcoming week. And it has been rather cool the last couple of days as well. I do want to show you just how long of a streak it actually has been cooler than average. It's been 16 days since the last time we saw a high temperature warmer than average. That was back on March the 20th, and it's been 164 days. You have to head back all the way to October the 24th for the last time we saw a high temperature warmer than 62 degrees. Good news is we're actually going to either tie or exceed those temperatures. Let's take a look at some of these highs over the next 5 days. Upper 50s to near 60 degrees Monday and Tuesday, so back close to average. And it looks like Wednesday and Thursday, the highlights of the week, low to even mid 60s. Not record-breaking temperatures. I think the record high for Wednesday is like 76 degrees, but it still is going to be rather nice to see at least a return to more spring-like conditions. Let's take a look outside. Things are pretty quiet outside right now with a mostly cloudy sky. Right now, 46 degrees is our current temperature. Most of us tonight will be falling into the upper 30s to lower 40s. It does look like things will be on the quieter side, and most of us will at least stay above the freezing mark. We still have some higher clouds that are drifting overhead, and you can still see some rain showers over, say, the southern part of the Willamette Valley, and even a couple of thunderstorms earlier this morning down towards Eugene or Corvallis. There's actually that big low pressure system just sitting off the coast of California right now. It is pummeling the central part of the state with some heavy rain. Notice we have several flooding headlines as well as plenty of mountain snow up in the Sierra Nevada, 1 to 2 feet of snow at least through tomorrow morning. None of that is in our forecast. We just have to worry about wind direction, and here's why. We'll likely wake up tomorrow morning, maybe with some patchy areas of fog, but I think most of us will see lots of sunshine throughout the day. Then notice as we head into Monday night, the wind starts to increase through the strait. That's going to allow some of those marine layer clouds to push overhead and will likely be cloudy as we start off our Tuesday morning. The clouds will eventually clear out, but it will have a slight impact on our temperatures, just a couple degrees cooler than what we'll be at tomorrow on Monday. So again, rather nice the next couple of days. We'll be dry through the work week. Wednesday and Thursday will be the nicest days. Clouds will increase on Friday, and we do have some rain showers in the forecast as we head into the following weekend. So the work week looks nice. The weekend looks a little bit on the wet side looking this far out. Back to you.